72 minutes are gone. Switzerland are leading, but they are not safe, and the camera finds a face nobody in the stadium recognizes. He is 20 years old. He is the youngest player his country brought to this World Cup. Most of the watching world has never heard his name, and the few who have cannot quite spell it. Johan Manzambi jogs onto the grass with his shirt still creased from the bench. 18 minutes remain. In those 18 minutes, this anonymous kid is about to do something that will end the night with his name on every screen on the planet. We tell ourselves the World Cup belongs to the famous. The faces on the billboards, the teams who have won it before. The giants are supposed to roll over everyone else and meet in the final, exactly as planned. But this tournament keeps refusing the script. Somewhere between the kickoff and the chaos, it has started doing the opposite of what we expected. It is taking players almost nobody had heard of 3 weeks ago and turning them, in real time, into household names. Hold that kid in Switzerland in your mind. We are coming back to those 18 minutes. First, understand what is actually happening here. Start in Morocco's opening match against Brazil. 5-time world champions, the biggest name in the sport. And inside a 1-1 draw, a Moroccan midfielder named Ismael Saibari scored. Not a famous striker, not a 100 million transfer, a name most neutral fans had to look up. He went toe-to-toe with Brazil and walked off the pitch, having put his country level. For a player outside the global spotlight, that is the kind of night careers are built on. But Saibari was not finished. He had only shown you the trailer. Morocco against Scotland. The whistle blows, the ball is rolled back, knocked forward, and before the crowd has even settled into their seats, Saibari is through. 71 seconds. That is all it took. 1 minute and 11 seconds of football, and the net is bulging. It is one of the fastest goals of the entire tournament. Think about that. Out of hundreds of goals from the most expensive forwards alive, one of the very quickest came from a man you could not have picked out of a lineup a month ago. 1-0, 3 points, and a legend taking shape in real time. 2 matches, 2 goals. Suddenly, Saibari is not a name you look up. He is a name you remember. And the strange, thrilling truth of this World Cup is that he is not alone. All over the bracket, the same story keeps repeating itself with different faces. A player walks on as a question mark and walks off as an answer. The tournament is not rewarding the men we were told to watch. It is rewarding the men nobody warned us about. So let me take you back to Switzerland and to the 18 minutes we left hanging. Switzerland against Bosnia and Herzegovina. The 72nd minute, Johan Manzambi comes off the bench, the youngest player in the entire Swiss squad, into a game still hanging in the balance. And then it happens. The ball drops to him and he finishes. The boy who started the night unknown has scored at a World Cup. The bench erupts. But football has a cruel sense of timing, and a generous one, and it was not done with Johan Manzambi yet. Because a few minutes later, the ball found him again. He scored again. A second goal in the same cameo off the same bench, from the same 20-year-old who walked on as a stranger. A super sub brace. Switzerland win 4-1, and the boy who had to be introduced to the world at the start of the broadcast is being carried off it as a headline. Manzambi finishes the tournament with 3 goals. So does Saibari, 2 players almost nobody was talking about, now sitting level at the very top of the conversation. This is not a coincidence anymore. This is a pattern, and patterns have reasons. So why now? Why is this World Cup, more than any before it, manufacturing heroes out of unknowns? The answer starts with a single brutal statistic, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Across this entire tournament, substitutes have scored 30 of the 140 goals. 30. Read that again. More than 1 goal in every 5 has come from a man who started the match sitting down, watching, waiting. 21.4% of every goal scored, struck by the players we used to call backups. And here is what makes that number historic. It is not just high, it is the highest share of goals scored by substitutes in the entire history of the World Cup. Never before have the men coming off the bench decided so many matches. The reserves have stopped being reserves. The 13th, 14th, 15th name on the team sheet now arrives in the 72nd minute and rewrites the result. That is exactly the door Manzambi walked through. The bench is no longer where careers wait, it is where they begin. But a statistic does not just appear, something built it, and the something is the shape of this tournament itself. This is the first World Cup of its kind, expanded to 48 teams, more nations than ever before, each one carrying a bigger squad than any generation that came before them. More games, more minutes, more bodies, and crucially a rule that quietly changed everything. 5 substitutions, not 3. 5. Every manager now holds 5 chances to reach into the bench and change a match. 5 chances to throw a stranger into history. Put it together. 48 teams, deeper squads, 5 subs a game. The math is simple and the consequence is enormous. A manager no longer has to win with 11. He wins with 16. And the players who used to spend 90 minutes warming up and going home are now walking on with 20 minutes left and fresh legs against tired ones, chasing a moment that can change a life. The bench has become the most dangerous place on the pitch, and the unknowns are the ones standing on it, waiting for the call. And it is not only the young. While 20-year-olds rewrite the record off the bench, the same tournament handed a folk hero to the other end of a career. Cape Verde, an island nation playing in their first ever World Cup, lined up against Spain. In goal stood a 40-year-old named Vozinha. 90 minutes later, he had kept Spain out completely. A 0-0. A clean sheet. Man of the match against one of the greatest sides on earth in his country's debut on the biggest stage there is. The kid and the veteran, the same lesson from opposite ends. And the lesson is glorious until you turn it over and look at the other side. Because every fairy tale in this tournament has a cost, and someone always pays it. There is a catch hiding inside all of this hope, and it is the part nobody puts on the highlight reel. For every unknown who becomes a star, there is a giant standing on the other side of the result, watching it slip away. Manzambi's brace is Bosnia's collapse. Vozinha's clean sheet is Spain held to a draw they did not want. The hero is always made at somebody's expense. This is the brutal symmetry of it. The very tournament that was built to favour the powerhouses, all those extra teams, all those squad players, all those substitutions, has become the machine that humbles them. The giants got bigger squads, and the unknowns inside those squads turned around and used the rules against the favourites. Saibari humbling Scotland. Manzambi off the bench to bury Bosnia. Vozinha's island holding Spain. Every act of magic is also somebody's nightmare. The new heroes are not just rising, they are climbing over the bodies of the teams we were certain would win. So what does it actually mean, this tournament that keeps minting stars from strangers? It means the wall between the famous and the forgotten is thinner than we ever believed. It means a 20-year-old with a creased shirt can change a nation's night in 18 minutes. It means the next legend you fall in love with is probably a name you cannot spell yet, sitting on a bench right now, in a squad you have not memorized, waiting for a manager to point at him. The door is open wider than it has ever been, and someone is always about to walk through it. Remember where we started? 72 minutes gone, a kid nobody knew jogging onto the grass. By the final whistle, Johan Manzambi had 2 goals and a country chanting his name. That is the promise this World Cup is making to every unknown still waiting. The bench is not the end of the story, it might be the beginning. So when the next stranger walks on with 20 minutes left, do not look away. You could be watching a star being born in real time. Who is the breakout that stole your heart this tournament? Tell me below. I am reading every single one.